Hello, welcome back to another fun-filled, exciting episode of Tech I Spy. Today I thought we would do a comprehensive SWOT analysis of a company called ProKidney Corp. We'll assess its investment potential. It's an interesting company, seems to be stuck in the biotech world for some reason, but here we go. This is a pioneering biotech company focused on transforming the treatment of chronic kidney disease, of all things. It has an innovative product, deals with cellular therapies. So stick around as we dissect the market, the company's strengths, its weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats it's going to face. But first, I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. If you're new to the channel, basically what we do here is we take interesting tech companies that you might not have heard of, we do a quick SWOT analysis of it, and then we leave it up to you to go and do further research so you can decide whether you want to invest in it or not. Most of the companies you won't have heard of. I don't tend to specialize in like the big companies like Tesla and things like that. I genuinely look for the small companies that are around penny stock value or just ridiculously obscure that you wouldn't have heard of, and then hopefully you'll take the information from there and run with it. So enjoy the video. If you like it and you haven't been here before, please subscribe, please like, and if you really want to do me a favor, go to buymeacoffee.com/Whitley and leave me a tip. Okay, so let's crack on with the episode. So we start off with the strengths, a little bit of background in the company as well. ProKidney Corp is a biotech firm founded sometime around 2015 and is headquartered in a place called Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It appears to be at the forefront of developing innovative treatments for CKD, chronic kidney disease, and the company's strengths lie in a flagship product it has known as the Renal Autologous Cell Therapy, or REACT, which is its trademark name. This is a pioneering therapy aimed at halting or reversing CKD progression. The therapy uses the patient's own cells to promote kidney repair, potentially eliminating the need for dialysis in the future for various patients. Another strength of the ProKidney leadership, they've got some interesting people working there. The current CEO is a gentleman called Dr. Bruce Culleton. He has extensive experience in something called nephrology and significant business management. His background includes direct patient care, clinical research, and has had already executive roles at Baxter Healthcare and CVS Kidney Care. Basically looks like he's got a right balance of medical background and business know-how in order to kind of keep the company going forward. Which is probably why when we look at the actual company's finances, we can see some interesting things going on there. I'm not going to try and lead towards the share price, but the company within itself is quite financially reasonably secure, I think. It's invested $485 million in expanding manufacturing capacity in North Carolina, and this will add about 330 high-paying jobs to the company and its ability to produce these treatments. Now, as for REACT itself, it's currently in phase 2 clinical trials and shows promise in improving kidney function and delaying the progress of end-stage renal diseases. This basically uses the autologous cells, meaning cells derived from the patient's own body, to regenerate damaged kidney tissues. The approach aims to provide a more effective and sustainable treatment option compared to traditional therapies that primarily manage symptoms without addressing the underlying damage. Kidney disease is quite prevalent around the world. It affects, by the looks of it, somewhere in the 1 in 1,000, I think it is, if my research is right. Quite significant, and basically anything that gets you off the dialysis machine, which is extremely expensive and time consuming, I would have thought would be a good thing. The company is also focusing on developing other pipeline products targeting CKD, These products are designed to be used in conjunction with or alternatives to CKD treatments. So it looks like they've got a compendium of solutions for kidney treatments. Obviously puts them in a very good position. So if you look at some announcements from the company itself, one of the most significant is the positive interim data from the phase 2 RMCL-002 clinical trial for React, which has demonstrated the potential efficacy for preserving kidney function among diabetic CKD patients. They consider this to be a milestone, and it certainly leads to a progressive treatment for late stage clinical development, and hopefully eventual commercialization of this product. Financially, they've reported having around $395 to $396 million in cash equivalents and marketable securities as of September of last year. That's 2023. Looks like they've got enough money to get through to the end of 2025. This is a very strong financial position, or they consider it to be a very strong financial position. But given how crazy the economy around the world is at the moment, so I'm not going to assume that's actually possible anymore. So they've also secured 28 million in incentives from Guilford County and Greensboro. It's contingent on them meeting the job creation. It's probably why the job creation was there in the first place. So they're gonna. It's obviously where they are. There's a lot of support from the local government to enable them to produce what they're producing, and I would imagine they will stay there long term and expand as this React treatment products basically goes eventually onto the market, assuming it passes all its trials and becomes a permanent product out there, hopefully. So when we look at the strengths overall, ProKidney Corp stands out as a strong leader in the CKD treatments arena. This is they've got promising results with this React therapy, and they obviously have very strong business acumen, which means they can leverage all these strengths to produce a company which has a solid future, potentially. Okay, so let's look at the weaknesses of ProKidney Corp. Despite its innovative approach to treating chronic kidney disease, I'm saying some weaknesses there. A primary concern for me is there is some financial instability there. Although they've been able to do some solid partnerships, and there has been some great investments, they reported net loss recently of $146 million, although every tech company seems to have these huge losses, and these losses are projected to continue into next year, so 2025. Financial instability does make me nervous, but like I've said, there is a strong management team there, which makes me think that this is just part of the R&D that goes along with this, so it might not be a huge problem, but obviously it's the one you flag up at the beginning when it goes into the hundreds of millions. There are some other major weaknesses. There's a heavy reliance, obviously, in just this one single product, the Renal Autologous Cell Therapy, the React. The future of this company largely depends on completing the medical and regulatory trials, so it gets approval and hits the market and becomes a great success. One product things don't always work out. I don't know what to say about that, but it is what it is. It's a small tech company. They're always going to have one thing. If this works, obviously they'll branch out into other things. So there's also, how can I put this, volatility in the stock price. Now, you do get this with penny share companies, you do get this with tech companies. That's not normally an issue. It's normally, if you're investing in tech companies, you're going to expect this anyway. But this is the big caveat and what makes me worried. There have been insider sell-offs. The major shareholder, Charmath Palihapitiya, has basically indicated lack of confidence. That worries me. When insiders start moving money from the company, it generally means they know something from conversations that they've not revealed publicly. Having invested money in tech companies, especially med companies, where there have been people behind the scenes removing money, it generally means that something's gone wrong somewhere. But I'm not going to say that's what's happened. I'm just going to say be wary, because there is a possibility that that could be something much deeper. So, have there been setbacks with this particular treatment, with the Iraq treatment? It's hard to say. There's been looks like there's been a termination of one of their chief operating officers, Deepak Jain, which basically means that although I've said that there's great strong business management in there might not be strong management behind the scenes. I can't find any reason why this happened. This is something that came up in Simply Wall Street. I would love to know why he's left the company. I would love to know whether this was just him or whether it was a deeper malaise in the company, if I was willing to invest any more money or any money at all in this company. R&D expenditure is supposed to be high. I'm not worried about that. That's what you expect with any company. It is the weakness of every company that's out there, but they have to do it. I don't mind them doing it as long as I know where it's going. What other downgrade problems we've got? We've got downgrade investments. So the BOFA Securities recently downgraded ProKidney from a buy to a neutral, and has looked at cutting the price from $8 to $2. This isn't normally something I would be talking about, because I don't really care about share prices in tech companies at this point. Normally I like to invest in something, the product comes out, it's a wonderful hit, and then there's a huge surge in the share price. But if it goes down that much, then I've got to worry about it. Stock declines are normal, so it might be that there's competition out there that could put ProKidney under their thumb, or some other description that basically means that this company is not in a position I would like it to be. We'll look at that when we go through the industry analysis. We might get a bit more insight into what's going on. But overall, it's the financial instability and the behind the scenes, which is a bit of a problem. There isn't any apparent problem with the product itself so far. We'll have to wait for the next phase 3 to come through and see how it reacts properly with a wider berth of patients. Okay, so looking at the industry as a whole, chronic kidney disease, the treatment for it is a rapidly growing sector, unfortunately, as most of the healthcare industry is at the moment. This is driven by a prevalence in an Asian population, more medical techniques to reveal the problems with it. But given that this affects 700 million people globally, in the US alone, about 37 million adults suffer with some kidney-related illnesses, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about 5% of the population, 10%. It's a significant amount. It's very, very high. It's probably everybody having stupid protein shakes and putting grit in their kidneys. It's wrecking them. Who knows? But the diseases that are being treated by ProKidney, these only really have the only treatment really out there at the moment is dialysis, and CKD does progress and can progress, and it unfortunately does progress to end stage renal disease, which is basically at the point at which you need kidney transplantation. Anything out there that can actually deal with that is going to be great. But the market for chronic kidney disease is so prevalent. It's by my measurements, it's, if I've read this correctly, it was $65 billion last year. It looks like it could hit $70 billion for 2024, and by the end of the decade we're talking 80, 90. I mean, this is going up significantly every year. It's not just an inflationary issue. More and more people are falling ill with some form of CKD. So obviously there's a great opportunity there for any treatment which can at least alleviate it, if not cure it. So the key players. Who are the key players in all this? Well, we have the usual: AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Freshness Medical Care. These companies are all looking to do similar treatments, which is why I'm wondering whether ProKidney is actually in the right place to actually put this product forward. What will happen probably overall is that they'll come with a treatment that's highly successful, and then one of these big giant companies will come in and buy them out, which would hopefully then push the share price up. So then the SWOT analysis, we come to the threats, and the threats from the industry to this company are quite significant, apart from the fact that maybe people will live better lives and the kidney disease will disappear completely. The obvious one, apart from regulatory issues, is alternative treatments. There are lots and lots of companies actively investigating this. For example, we have the emerging treatments like SGLT2 inhibitors, which were initially developed for diabetes management. These are showing promise in treating CKD and slowing the progressive kidney disease completely. And I'd imagine stem cell technology be out there somewhere, and then you can have nanotechnology therapy out there. But overall, it's going to be lifestyle changes. Kidney disease, although you're going to get hit by numerous other nasty diseases will attack it and creating the actual conditions for CKD, most of it tends to be, from what I've read, just grit forming in there, and that's because people are generally trying to take shortcuts when it comes to going to the gym, taking protein shakes, taking weight loss shakes and things like that. This actually leaves grit in your kidneys, in your bladder, and it causes all kinds of renal problems. So I think as that kind of wisdom gets out there and people treat their bodies a little bit more respectfully, then obviously CKD slowly fades away and it goes back to being just an old person's disease, essentially. At least that's what I think. Of course, let's look at the regulatory hurdles. There have been practice guideline changes, such as the KDIGO 24 guidelines. This sets for standards of evaluation of management of CKD. This could raise the bar for therapeutic treatments, and if ProKidney doesn't hit those, the drugs are as good as possible, then obviously it's just generic drugs, therapies that we have at the moment, and the dialysis will just continue to be used. And then of course we've got the usual economic fluctuations of being able to produce stuff, wages for workers, which we've already touched on, that the local councils and governments have actually given them a lot of money in order to try and keep in that area and keep the R&D in that area. The market's not huge for it, in that the treatments for it currently are cheaper than what this would produce. So this isn't going to be a £10,000 treatment. This is going to be £10 treatment for a lot of people. I can't imagine people, I don't know, people do whatever they need to save their lives, and using the UK formulas for working out how much people pay for medicine compared to how much you'll pay in America, where you pay for things like childbirth and ambulances, things like that, blow my mind and blows most British people's minds as to how you're able to kind of actually even get to this point in life. But overall, the market's good. It's there, but it's not going to be producing very high value products. It's going to be more mediocre products and just mass treatment that will actually kind of bring in the goodies. Yeah, I think that's basically the threats to the company so far. It's all competition, it's going to be regulation, and then it's going to be basically whether the treatment's actually worth the right price. Yeah. Okay, so in conclusion, if you're going to be investing in any company that deals with CKD, the treatment The market presents both significant opportunities, considerable risks, as they all do. ProKidney Corp, with its innovative renal autologous cell therapy, the trademarked React, stands as a promising player in this field, and the company aims to revolutionise CKD treatment by using the patient-driven cells to repair damaged kidneys, which potentially reduces need for dialysis and transplantation. However, the market is fraught with challenges. The alternative treatments out there, the lifestyle modifications, and the new drug classes like SGLT2 inhibitors are gaining traction very rapidly, and it could reduce or eliminate completely the idea for traditional therapies that this would fall under. And that's before you get around to the regulatory hurdles, which could delay the product, increase the development costs. That's before even then you've got to the environment, the economic fluctuations that are going to make it incredibly expensive or incredibly cheap to produce these drugs at the end. And then the fact that ProKidney is a small company compared to the massive medical corporations out there that are doing exactly the same research, although they don't actually have the products yet. They could rapidly move through and take over once they've kind of worked out what they're doing. But as with all these tech companies, what I tend to look at is Elon Musk's work going against the big corporations, and the fact that none of them can keep up with him on any level. So don't ever rule out the small companies when there's big corporations around. Just give them a chance, have a look at them, and maybe you'll be interested. But always conduct thorough research yourself. Consider seeking financial advice before you're doing investments, and make sure you understand what the biotech sector is first. Invest small and then build up as you go along. So both by understanding the potential of the risks and the rewards that go with all this, you can make a more informed and balanced investment choice of what is a very volatile market. Okay, I think that's it for now. I'll try to keep off the biotech companies for a little while. Obviously, a lot of these videos have been about them, but they tend to be the smaller companies that are out there. So if you like this video, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment. Your discussions are always rewarding, believe me. And if you do want to tip me, the barcode, the QR code is at the top of the screen. Just click on that, it will take you straight to the Buy Me a Coffee website and my small little area there where I have extra information and insights into what's going on in the world. Okay, so till next time, ta-ta for now.
Mm-hmm.